Hello and welcome to my world and my personal headcanon. This week we are continuing the what if Vegeta were female scenario, and we're picking up right where we left off from last time, where Bulma brings Goku's ship to a rather secluded part of Namek, which just happens to be where Frieza catches up with Nail. So Bulma is scared out of her mind as she witnesses Frieza beating the holy hell out of the strongest Namekian left on the planet at this point. Frieza's not doing much in the way of wanting to kill Nail because he wants to extract information from him on how to use the Dragon Balls. Nail figures enough time has passed for Dende to have reached the contingent from Earth, and Nail reveals to Frieza that the entire plot, sending Frieza into a rage as he rushes back to his ship where the Dragon Balls are. Bulma cautiously approaches the basically half-dead Namekian to see if there's anything she can do to help him. Now, after reaching Frieza's ship, Dende summons Porunga and Krillin and Gohan, wishing to bring back Piccolo, Chaozu, Tenshin, Han, and Yamcha, only to learn that the big beefy dragon can only summon one person back at a time. Piccolo, via King Kai, a telepathic transmission relay, communicates with Gohan, instructing him to wish him back, which in turn brings Kami back, which in turn brings the Dragon Balls back on Earth. So that they can go about doing a group resurrection that way. And of course, the second wish is used to bring Piccolo to Namek to give them some extra firepower to deal with Frieza. As soon as those wishes are made, Vegeta, the Princess of All Saiyans, arrives with the heavily injured Goku, following their battles with the Ginyu Force. With one wish left, Vegeta wants that wish to bring back her companions, but before she can be informed about what the limitations of the Dragon Balls are, they are turned to stone, which instantly tells Dende that Guru has passed away. Vegeta, of course, is very pissed off, but is calmed down when she's told that about the wishes that were made in the context as relates to resurrecting Piccolo and bringing back the Earth Dragon Balls. So her hope to bring back Raditz and Nappa is still alive at this point and keeps her from flying off the handle. And of course, back on Earth, Mr. Popo is sent out with the task of retrieving the Dragon Balls as quickly as possible. Now, with Vegeta in better spirits, she starts to take Goku into Frieza's ship with the intent of dropping him into a healing pod, only for Dende to then reveal that I can heal him. As like, set Goku down, Dende sets about healing Goku using his unlocked abilities, which amazes Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin. Of course, Dende is their white mage, and you do not mess with the white mage, as one would say. Dende also gives Vegeta a bit of a touching up as well, so they both get a Zenkai boost from this. Goku's being much stronger considering the condition that he was in. And this all happens and is completed at just the right moment, because that's when Frieza shows up, extremely pissed off that he can't use the Dragon Balls, and is less than thrilled with having to deal with two Saiyans in the form of Vegeta and Goku, who engaged in him in battle, and faced in a 2-on-1 situation, Frieza transformed to his second form. Meanwhile, having been transported to Namek, Piccolo is heading to the battle, because they didn't exactly bring him to where they were. But of course, this leads to Piccolo finding Bulma as well as the dying Nail, who gives him the lowdown on everything that's happening, pointing out that Frieza is a lot more powerful than he appears to be. Nail requests to fuse with Piccolo, who is naturally reluctant, but Nail assures him that, Piccolo will retain his personality, he'll remain in charge, be exactly who he's been to this point, but he'll just get a massive increase in power and speed. Back at the battle, second form Frieza is more than a match to deal with Vegeta, who gets handled and KO'd. But second form Frieza is no match for Goku, who pushes Frieza to transform into his third form, which is still not quite enough to deal with the son of Bardock. At the same time, Krillin and Gohan get Vegeta out of dodge, which allows Dende to heal her up, giving her another Zenkai boost in the process. Vegeta promptly rejoins the fight just as Piccolo arrives, and so Frieza is now facing a 3-on-1 situation in his third form. Frieza then proceeds to transform to his fourth form, which gives him more than enough power to deal with the immediate threat, but then something catches his eye. Rather, three somethings catches his eye, namely Gohan, Krillin, and Dende. Seeing an opportunity to turn the tables in his favor, Frieza changes his tactics, focusing on dodging everything that Vegeta, Piccolo, and Goku are throwing at him in order to position himself in such a way that he can fire a death beam at one of them, and so when they dodge, it's going to hit one of the bystanders. In this case, Frieza fires a death beam at Vegeta, who gets out of the way, and unfortunately, that death beam hits Dende straight on. Dende is dead. This distracts Piccolo, which allows Frieza to deliver a vicious tail whip, knocking the fuse Namekian down into a large body of water. Gohan goes to aid Piccolo, but before he can get under the water, Frieza picks him off with a death beam, killing him instantly. Now, for Vegeta, what happens in the next possible moments for her is basically the equivalent of time standing still. Because the second Gohan is killed, Vegeta experiences something that she's only heard about in legends, as Goku basically erupts into such rage and anguish over seeing his son die, that the legend of the Super Saiyan basically comes to pass, as with Goku's hair spiking up and turning from black to gold, his eyes turning green. Frieza's basically amused by all of this, right up until Goku, again, completely blinded by rage, knocks Frieza damn near halfway across the planet, and taking the battle away from there. Is like Goku is pissed off beyond all reason at this point. So it's like he is going to take it out on Frieza's ass. There is no question about that. Now, Vegeta realizing what's happening here with the legend, with Goku going Super Saiyan, and notices that Krillin has gotten Piccolo out of the water, and figuring that at this point there's not going to be much that she can do, and to keep herself out of harm's way, because there's no telling how Goku is going to react based on what she just saw. Like if he's going to lash out and attack anybody that interferes at this point. Vegeta picks up Gohan's body figure and basically coordinates with Krillin and the slowly recovering Piccolo that the best move is to get to Goku's to find Bulma, get to the Goku spaceship, and get off of the planet as quickly as possible. So it's basically, because at this point, as far as they know, and rightfully so, they are the only ones left alive at this point. Meanwhile, Goku is, of course, beating the holy hell out of Frieza, who is barely able to defend himself. And it's at this point Frieza decides that, it's not worth it. To cut his losses, launches an energy ball down towards the Namek's planetary core. But because Goku is on him constantly at this point, Frieza is not able to put all of his focus into launching that particular energy attack. And while it begins the destruction of Namek, it's not like an instant destruction. And with no other choice, Frieza goes 100% power, and at full power, Frieza is able to turn the tables in his favor, fending off Goku's relentless assault and basically it becomes like a full fist fight at this point, trading blows back and forth, again with Goku just being unrelenting. On Earth, Mr. Popo has finally gathered the 7 Dragon Balls, and they use it to revive everyone who was killed by Frieza and his forces on Namek, which in turn revives Guru, while he was near death anyway, he is brought back because his death was essentially caused by Frieza due to the grief of so many of his people being killed. Actually, every one of his people being killed, as far as he knows. Gohan is literally revived in Vegeta's arms as soon as she, Krillin, and Piccolo arrive at where Bulma is located. And with Gohan being literally alive, that gives them the indication that, hey, Dende might be alive, and Frieza being the faster than Piccolo and Vegeta and Krillin at this point, makes a beeline to go back to the young Namekian. Dende awakens alone and near Porunga, and Dende is just terrified and unsure of really what to do. As the planet starts crumbling around him thanks to Frieza's energy ball hitting the planet's core. Porunga is getting increasingly impatient, waiting for that third wish to be asked for. Goku and Frieza's battle also rages on, taking even more of a toll on the planet. So by the time Vegeta reaches Dende, the young Namekian is just frantic at this point. It's like this needs somebody to give him a direction on what the hell to do. Vegeta, not thinking clearly, realizing the dragon, seeing the big dragon, says that this would be the perfect opportunity to revive Nappa and Raditz, but is then stopped when she hears Nappa's voice in her own head via King Kai. This is something I had planned and didn't want to reveal until this point. You see, King Kai has been keeping an eye on the situation on Namek the entire time, and in particular making note of everything that Vegeta has been doing since she arrived with Bulma, Gohan, and Krillin. So, knowing what her intentions are to revive her 2 longtime comrades, King Kai uses his authority to coerce King Yama into getting Nappa and Raditz sent from Hiffle up to his planet, much to, King Yama's annoyance. But, considering everything, King Kai's basically wanted to make sure that, keep Vegeta on her path of redemption of sorts. Of course, having Nappa and Raditz around was definitely not something Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, and Piccolo were thrilled about. Piccolo, of course, withheld this information from Vegeta, basically using it as a hidden trump card if needed. But of course, but the person who tells Piccolo to keep this information from Vegeta is Nappa himself, knowing the princess as well as he does. Now, getting back to the current event in the timeline here, and Nappa relays to Vegeta, again via King Kai's telepathic communications, that tells her to think about what happened to the kid and to actually think like the ruler that the Saiyans really needed in comparison to her father. Realizing what Nappa is getting at, and again thinking about the bigger picture, is like, okay, Gohan's back, Dende's back, so if they use the Earth Dragon Balls, that means there's a whole planet of people, Namekians, in great danger here. And again, thinking like the ruler, that following Nappa's advice here, Vegeta asked Dende a question on, can Porunga transport everyone who is not currently engaged in battle off of Namek and take him to the only planet that she knows that at this point is, a safe harbor, and that being Earth. Then they ask Poronga this, who confirms he can do it, and there you go. There's the third wish right there. Now, at this point, everybody except Goku and Frieza is off of Namek. And not knowing this, because Goku is totally focused on Frieza because of what he did to Gohan, Goku is not letting up. He has that red mist. He is looking to make Frieza pay. King Kai tries to communicate with Goku, letting him know what's going on, but nope. The attack, Goku keeps going at it and going at it and going at it, beating Frieza to the brink of death and then beyond. It's like, essentially, what Goku tried to do to Tambourine back in the original Dragon Ball when Krillin died. Let's just say here with Frieza, Goku is able to, avenge the death of his son and then some. Now, unfortunately, this, has a bit of an after effect here. Because with Goku being so focused on beating and getting revenge, he has no chance whatsoever to even get to any spaceship that might be, or pod that's left on Namek's surface. And so he's basically caught in the explosion dead on when Namek is destroyed. So, Goku's dead again. Damn it! But everybody else is alive. Vegeta, is definitely having a change in perspective at the behest of Nappa. And so that is where we're going to leave things off. And I can almost guarantee you that the next part in this, again, poorly thought out exercise that I'm doing here is going to cover essentially 390 days of Vegeta basically being on Earth with quite a lot happening. Because again, we just covered finished the Frieza and Namek saga, so it's time to deal with the aftermath. And because Goku ain't going to Yardrat, he's back in the other world. So with that, thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you actually were able to understand my incoherent ramblings on this. And we'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.